so nuts that I'm doing a podcast, but I'm so excited and there's so much I want to share, and I can't wait to get into the bigger, more detailed, nitty-gritty episodes. For today, I just want to say hi, and I wanted to say welcome and give you a quick rundown about what it's about and why I'm doing it. I am a little nervous, I think, because I'm not generally a perfectionist by nature, but there are particular domains in which I certainly am. And this is one of those things that I just want it to be there you go. There it is. I was going to say I want it to be perfect first go, but I'm really leaning into it's going to be my best effort, not my best work. So bear with me as I learn how to do this. I'm so happy to be here. Today, the point of it is really to tell you why I'm here and what brought me here. So come along for the ride if you're all about mindset in sport, because that's what I'm about. So I am here because I remember a time when I would walk into the gym and I would look at the equipment and already be in tears, if not on the verge of tears. And I would start crying before I even touched a piece of equipment. And if that means absolutely nothing to you, which it might at this point, my name's Carla. I am a gymnast. I'm a trampoline gymnast. I've been doing gymnastics since I was 2 years old in a little kindy gym. And then I decided to really make trampoline my only discipline when I was 14. And now I'm 27 years old. And I've competed for Australia, which is so amazingly awesome. But I attribute everything to being able to shift and change my mindset and all the mentors and guides and coaches and learning that I've done along the way to get here. So let me get back to the story. That gives you some context. I would walk into the gym and look at the trampoline and cry before I even started. I was so defeated. I was so stuck and just stagnant. I did the same routines for about 7 years. And that was just like, if you compare it to another sport, like a ball sport, it's like being in the same age group for 7 years. It's like just a terrible feeling. Like you're not improving. You're not getting any further in the direction that you want to go or moving towards your goals. So at this point, I had been experiencing the mental blocks for maybe, I want to say 5 years before I thought I really have to take control of this and start to learn about why my mind works this way and how I can make it work differently, because this clearly isn't benefiting me or working for me or making me very happy. And it was so hard for the thing that I loved the most, which was sport, and specifically trampolining or gymnastics, to be the thing that was also hurting me the most. It was a really, really hard time in my life. And I know there are worse problems in the world. Don't I know it? But I have been so fortunate and so lucky to learn so many life lessons through sport. It's been really a blessing. And so after doing the same thing for 7 years, I thought I have to change something. And it was almost serendipitous that this amazing seminar called the Breakthrough Challenge, run by Tony Robbins, was happening at the time that I was looking for something to change my life, and it did absolutely that. One of the main takeaways that I learned from this Breakthrough Challenge, which I had to get up at 4 a.m. because it was running online on US time. I had to get up at 4 a.m. and listen to this thing, and the main thing that I took away that absolutely changed my entire course of my life and my gymnastics career was that when I was telling myself these stories about, I'm not going to make this team, I'm not good enough, why does this keep happening to me, why am I so alone in this, doesn't seem like it's happening to anyone else, no one's going to think I'm good at this, I don't even think I'm good at this point. So all these thoughts I learnt from this course, they're all limiting beliefs, they're all things we tell ourselves all the time that are completely counter to our goal and to the thing that we're striving towards. But our brain is so clever that it goes out and looks for the evidence that the story you're telling yourself is true, and it filters out the things that disagree with that story. So you're having this crazy confirmation bias in your world where you're almost believing every story you're telling yourself because you're telling your brain by continuously telling yourself your story that this is the truth. So where is the truth in the world? And it goes and finds the evidence. You will completely ignore things that are counter to this, or it'll seem like a fluke or an anomaly to you. So when I learnt this, what I really found out was that I was tying my entire self-worth, my entire value to my sport and the achievements in my sport. And that was just so heartbreaking. I found out that there was nothing that I could name that I loved about myself other than that I'm a gymnast and my achievements in gymnastics. There was nothing that I valued about myself except for that I could do a flip. Not really just that, but you know what I mean. So it was really, really a big turning point for me to realize that I had to rediscover what I loved about myself, what I valued about myself, what I thought my self-worth was. And it was a really low time, but a really pivotal time where I just absolutely blasted off into a whole new version of myself. And now I just see that I can keep making iterations of that version. It's not like one time and you're done. It's a really amazing journey. I'm so grateful for that starting point of the journey. Now, if you feel like this, if you feel so stuck, if you feel so stagnant, if you feel like nothing you do to try and change this stuck, stagnant feeling in anywhere in life is working, then this is for you. This is why I am here. When I got to this point, I absolutely deep dove, I don't know, but one of them, into as much reading and learning as I could about sports psychology, about mindset, about behavioral psychology, about fear, and about managing fear, about leaning into fear. And I just went all in on learning about all of these different topics. And I thought, okay, it's time to put into practice what you learn, because knowledge is fine, but without action, it's just stuff. It doesn't really do anything. So I put into practice so many new things, and just slowly it became, I want to say, a brand new version of myself, a version that I was proud to be, a version that was really aware of herself and what she was doing. And even when it wasn't the right thing, I was aware. And when I say right thing, I mean the thing that was best for me. So that is how I got here, and that's why I'm here. I am just so passionate to cut off 7 years of people's journey at least. If I can help you, what it took me 7 years to learn and took me till the age of 27 to be in the right mindset, to be selected for teams that I wanted to be on, then this is for you. And it really applies to everything, to sport, to business. I truly believe, because your identity just shapes exactly who you are in the world. So if that sounds exciting to you, come on the journey with me. I will be talking to amazing people who have extensions and insights on these ideas, and I can't wait to hear them. I'm going to learn so much doing this, and I can't wait to bring that to you. There's already people I know that I have lined up to chat on here that I just am ready to learn so much from. I completely cannot wait. And the last thing I kind of want to leave you with is a little mindset tool, I think, to depart for today, which is something that I have been implementing for a little while without even knowing it, just as a result of the reading that I was doing. I just found that when I was reading, all the things came to a similar idea or a similar message. However, they were packaged in lots of different ways. And so there seems to be fundamentals. And one of the fundamentals I discovered was that viewing something as a challenge instead of viewing it as a threat is the biggest game changer you can possibly make in your pursuit of performance. If you constantly feel threatened in a situation where you need to perform, for example, if you feel threatened in a competition situation, even in a training scenario or at training camps in front of other people, if you feel this way, even in business, for a meeting or for a big presentation, if you decide to shift your mindset, change your perception, and view it as a challenge, you will have all sorts of different benefits. And one of them, which was most impressive to me, which this is something actually I recently learnt, was that the hormones that you release, the ratios of them change, which means your body, physiologically, the actual chemical processes in your body are working differently in order to make you behave differently. And I would say to an advantage. So if you decide to perceive something as a challenge, you are going to release more testosterone, which is super useful for drive, focus, for decision making, for being certain. These are things you want to bring when you're trying to perform, versus if you see something as a threat, you feel super uncertain, you feel hesitant, you feel shaky, you feel nervous. These are a result of the increased release of cortisol. Cortisol gets a bad rap, but in this moment in time, in threat versus challenge, it is not as useful as having more testosterone released. So I thought I'd leave you with that one for today, because that was my most recent discovery. I always knew that the threat versus challenge was something that really helped me to shift and be in a much more positive mind frame, because just inherently seeing something as a challenge will make you word and phrase things in your mind more positively, versus if you're seeing it as a threat. But I thought the physiology behind it was really the coolest thing. You're literally changing the chemicals in your body when you decide to change your mindset. So cool. So cool. Anyways, that's all for today. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for listening. And I am so excited to bring you more of this. All right. Bye, guys.